Hey guys, so this vlog is all about youngsters. I'm going to show you a couple of the young horses that I have in training with me right now. This is Bella, or Reichenhall. She is a 3-year-old Hanoverian mare bred by Hans Langers at Indian Land Farm. She is by Razzmatazz, who is a royal prince son, and out of Windune, who is by the Winnetou West line. And she is a really fantastic 3 coming 4-year-old mare. I apologize for the camera issues that I have on this week's vlog. I was trying not to have to move the Pixio around that much because we have other horses that I was wanting to film as well. And so this post right in front of there kept getting in the way, and Alyssa was trying to help me out. So she's moving the camera a little bit, trying to make sure that it can focus on Bella. Anyway, you see me walking beside Bella there, just at the saddle. That's something that I do a lot of with the younger horses. I think it just transfers the groundwork over to the riding really nicely. You know, you can practice your turning, practice your stopping, all of that kind of stuff while you're on the ground and see if there's any missing pieces. I think it's really helpful. So I probably lunged Bella for maybe 10 minutes before I started walking with her again. This is her 13th ride under saddle. And she is just a fantastic mare, I think. Very sensible, knows her job. I believe the last ride that I put on her was November 3rd. And I lunged her a couple times last week. And that was the first time I'd really touched her other than grooming her and bringing her in for the farrier. And then I lunged her today just before I got on, and this is the 3-year-old that I have. I am very impressed with her brain and work ethic. She's just fantastic little mare. I love her. So you see that her movement isn't quite as nice as her November video. If you want to look back on that one, I really credit that to just her having time off, and this is her first time back under saddle in a couple months, and she's just kind of getting her bearings again. But I am really impressed with just how thoughtful she was. She was really nice and forward off of my leg. I didn't feel like I had to chase her around or really help her understand the forward aids at all. She just took it right in stride and went for it for me. And so I didn't really feel the need to push for anything extravagant today. I know it's in there, and I know that she can have a really lovely way of going, but I think this is actually quite nice. I mean, I really couldn't ask for anything better for a 3-year-old that's been off for a couple months. So I'm comfortable with this. I like to play with changes of direction, a couple of big circles, and really just vary between the two with my really young ones that don't quite understand what they're doing yet. And you see she just rolls right up into the canter. Can't quite hold it for the circle, but that's okay. Again, the balance and everything will come back to her she's really quite naturally balanced. So adding me in the tack doesn't really do a whole lot negatively to her, which is really nice. Um, so I just will take my time bringing her back um, and just let her kind of figure things out on her own. I think if you can set things up for a young horse to be able to figure out the question and answer it for themselves, I think it sets you up so much better in the long run just for their ability to understand the work and their trainability and just having a good feel for what you're doing with them so that they want to come back and do it for you the next day. That's really my goal, is that I teach these young horses to love their job and to want to do it again. And that everything is just very simple. It's just very straightforward, you know, whether it's transitions or turning or anything, you know, everybody knows that the Grand Prix horse has just mastered the basics. So I just want to start with that in mind and just put really solid basics on them. So I think we're at like 6.5, 7 minutes here. I really don't think I could ask for anything better. You know, we walk, trot, canter, both directions, solid on her leads. I, I don't think there's any reason to continue doing much more under saddle with her. So she's able to stand still, let me kind of yak about her a bit to Alyssa, and she's just a really, really nice mare. Got a really good head on her shoulders. Okay, so this is Ruby. She is bred by Lori Davis at Cove Spring Farm in Birmingham, Alabama. Um, I believe she's a Lord Loxley uh, mare. She's Oldenburg. Um, and again, you see me starting her off by walking with her by the saddle. I think that's been really helpful for her. So Ruby's been with me in training for about 8 months, I think. And I did not start her under saddle. Um, Someone else did a really nice job, you know, desensitizing her and getting her confident and, you know, accepting the rider. But what didn't really happen very well for her is just being able to have been started with that end in mind, like I was just saying with Bella's video, is starting with the knowledge that, you know, hopefully you're going to end up at the Grand Prix with this young horse. So just being able to start a young horse understanding what their end job is, whether it's dressage, whether it's, you know, jumpers or any of the Western disciplines. You know, you want to be able to start them with that mindset of, okay, this is going to be the expectation of the work. Um, you know, always acknowledging the fact that, of course, they're going to have to be taught this. You know, a young horse is not going to just be born ready to do the Grand Prix. They all need that solid start. So, because she didn't get that part in her beginning work, it's been a little bit uh, of a slow go, but not really. Like, I've been really happy with how she's been going. You know, as a coming 5-year-old, I don't have any complaints about what type of work she's been doing. Really, the biggest issues that we ran into was just her being able to accept contact. And when I mean contact, I don't just mean on the reins. I mean contact with my seat, contact with my legs, and just accepting those aids. And then, of course, contact um, with the bit and going confidently forward and taking the connection rather than ducking behind it. Um, so that's been really the big uh, conversation that I've been having with her since she's been in training with me. She's recently gone out to a couple of schooling shows at Poplar Place Farm in Hamilton, Georgia. One of my favorite places to show. And she did really quite well. She's been in the warm-up a couple times, handled the new situations really, really well. The first schooling show that we went to was in December, and it was extremely busy. Lots of people, lots going on. Um, but she handled it all really nicely. Second schooling show that she went to back on the 14th of this month. Um, it wasn't quite as busy, but we had a very scary looking bay horse in the warm up with us who had an interesting clip job, and Ruby didn't think that, excuse me, Ruby didn't think that horses were supposed to look like that. So she had a little bit of an education with him. So that's been really good for her. I feel like with those last couple of outings that we've had, she has really blossomed at home. We still have our 4-year-old moments, and she is allowed that. Um, if you watched my vlog with Reagan Bogan, you'll see or hear from me that I don't mind if the horse says no. I actually want to have a conversation with the horse. So that's been a big part of her development as well, is that, I want to, just have a conversation with her. I don't want to make her or force her to do anything. I just want to see what we can do together. So that's been huge for Ruby to start understanding that this riding stuff is not something that I'm doing to her, but it's something that I'm doing with her. And just having that type of attitude towards my part in the work, I think does wonders for the young horses and their brains and how they can accept everything. So Ruby doesn't always work in the arena. We go outside as well. I think that's really important. We do trot poles, which she's not that fond of, but the trot poles have really helped her find a good, solid rhythm in her trot. You see where she offered to canter there. I don't mind that. I actually really like that from her because she started off so backward when I first got her. So her offering to go more forward is great to me. But I'm not going to push the trot. You guys can probably see she's got really nice gaits, and you'll see in the canter as well, she's got really nice gaits. But the big thing for her is just to make sure that she has confidence in her movement, because her trot and canter both have really nice expression to them already, with me not even asking for that uh, auction type trot or canter. That's just her breeding, and well done to Lori for matching her mare so nicely and coming up with this lovely 4-year-old. Um, but I think it's really important at this stage not to push the movement to the max, in order that you can teach the horse to have confidence and just going in that nice steady eddy kind of rhythm. You see your canter there, she's got a great foreleg, got a great hind leg. It's all going to come together so nicely for this horse if you're just patient with her. And she gets a little crooked, she can't keep things straight quite yet, but again, I think that just comes from the canter being so large. And you can see here down the long side, it's beautiful, but it just needs, a little bit more confidence, a little bit more balance. And I'm perfectly fine with waiting it out. Again, she's 4 years old. There is no point in pushing her to do more. There's a lot of people that, if you have a 4-year-old this nice, that would just kick him out onto the show circuit and just make it happen. Get some scores on them and everything. I'm not about that. That's not really my principles. Um, I am more concerned with the horse, just like I was saying with Bella, just being able to come and enjoy their work. As if I can teach them to enjoy it and to want to come back to work for me the next day, then I know later on their show career is going to be so positive that it's really not going to matter whether I had them out in front of a judge at 3, 4, 5 years old. It'll be perfectly fine. And with something, uh, with a little 4-year-old moment, um, with something of Ruby's quality with her gaits and just her ability, as long as I take my time, that work ethic will continue to develop and mature, and you'll have a better horse for it. So again, that canter, I mean, it's just fantastic. Good. So she just needs a little bit more time, with developing the canter. Again, I'm not about pushing her, so I feel like right now, if she can canter a straight line with some nice forward tendency, really positively taking me forward, going to the connection positively, I think that's all, um, steps in the right direction, and I couldn't really ask for more from her. Her trot is really where she's more comfortable. So you'll see here, um, after I cross over the camera, I'll start talking to her a little bit more about her balance in the trot just by changing the circle shapes. From the 20 meters that we were doing earlier, I'm going to take her on to the 15-meter circle and, edging closer to a 10-meter circle. I don't keep her on them for very long because, again, I don't want to push her. I don't want to pressure her in those movements. I just want to teach her that she can stretch into that direction, that she can build her balance and her strength a little bit more. So I always just try to take the young horses just to the edge of what they know. Um, Sometimes you have to do a little bit more to find the edge. Sometimes the edge is just right there. Um, and you know exactly what you have to do. So with Ruby right now, it's just really helping her understand that I can ask for her to do different body shapes, to bend a little bit more. So I'm using those smaller circles, a little trick there, to help her understand that I can ask for more bend in her body. And then I'm also going to use the leg yielding here coming up. Use the leg yielding here to teach her that I can position her a little differently, and start teaching her a little bit about those lateral movements. As soon as I have a good forward rhythm with a young horse, I will start dabbling with the leg yielding. Um, that's usually my go-to starter lateral work that I do with them. I think it's really positive because you can leg yield in a in a wide variety of body shapes. You can leg yield with their shoulders over a little bit more. You can leg yield with their haunches over a little bit more. You can leg yield them pretty straight. You can leg yield them and develop that counter flexion a lot more. You can do a lot in leg yield. And I think it's really positive in teaching them that you can just ask for those different body positions from them. So there again, you saw the smaller circles. I think she's a little weaker to the right than to the left with her balance on those smaller circles. Again, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to drill smaller circles. It's not going to help drilling smaller circles. So I just take her to it, and then we'll work our way through it gradually. And there you see another leg yielding. So again, this is just typical 4-year-old work, short and sweet. And I think it's really important just that you keep things really positive and straightforward for them so that they enjoy what they're doing and they want to come back tomorrow and do it again. So thanks for watching.